Hello everyone, it's Slipshod! Welcome back to another episode of my solo play of Skyblock Infinite. In case you missed the last episode, we ventured out over the void and brought home a few goodies, including 2 golden apples that led us to a couple of zombie villagers. And for their sake, I hope they are a couple, as today we're planning to put them to work and expand our Skyblock empire. Buckle in because we have a bunch of building that I would like to cover today. But before we jump in today, I do have some exciting news. Some good, some not so much. I'm gonna hop back into our world and get started with the first farm we made while I fill you in on some of the changes. It's best to start with the good news, so I'm happy to share that all the stars have aligned and we have finally managed to upgrade our world to 1.21. In addition, I have added a few extra packs that will hopefully improve the look of our gameplay. For resource packs, we do now have both fresh animations and minimalistic armor, both of which I hope will just spice up some of the visuals without breaking our vanilla experience. And to give us something to try to collect over our playthrough, I have added the classic More Mob Heads data pack that I think will give us some fun content in the future. I'm really looking forward to some of the subtle changes these will make, in addition to the big changes of 1.21, like trial chambers and all the new blocks they'll bring. However, I did mention there was some bad news. It seems that during the update, we may have lost our player data. When I logged back in after updating, I noticed my inventory was empty and I didn't have a crumb of XP to my name. I began gathering up my backup gear when suddenly I started getting a few advancements that I've already reached. It looks like we've lost all that progress, our statistics, as well as the few things we had on us. Thankfully, most everything was stashed away already or only made of stone, but we did lose our original bucket, a full stack of bread, and the armor that we had arranged last episode. All things considered, nothing too painful was lost, and in its place we gained a lot more good. I'm just gonna dust myself off and carry on. I just wanted to give you the heads up in case you thought I died again, or if we get more of those duplicate advancements. But with all of that out of the way, I'm gonna throw it back over to in-game Shod to talk about this lovely build that we have made in the background. And don't forget to subscribe. All right, folks, we have done it. We have officially made that villager breeder here in the background. Now, I built this little tower over it just to try and hide it and make it look a little nicer in our world. I thought it would blend in a little bit better with the aesthetic that we currently have going on. As you can see, it is made mostly of stone bricks. We do have a little bit of gravel in there as well to give us some texturing. And then we did use just a little pop of somewhat of a color by using the white concrete that we had from the trail ruin. As you can see, it is going to be a pretty typical design that is just going to be your usual climb up there and feed the villagers, and all the babies that they make are going to drop down here into this water source and collect in this little area here. I'm probably going to wind up doing something better to collect them by having a section underneath that will lead them to a villager trading hall for us to get into later in the episode. Let's jump into free cam mode so we can get a little better look at it all from the top here. Just like in a typical villager breeder, they are stashed away safely inside. As well, we did manage to grind out a couple pieces of copper in order to get a lightning rod. I'll get into how we got that in just a moment. First, let's just jump back into our regular view here. And I think it would be nice to go ahead and get this villager breeder going. Now, you can probably tell I didn't actually create a way for me to get up to the top to feed them, but it's nothing that a little bit of scaffolding can't take care of. Hello, friends. How are you two doing down there? Looks like you're getting well acquainted. Don't you two worry, I have quite the gift for you here. Alright, plenty of carrots for them. If we give them a little bit of space, hopefully we see the hearts. And are we gonna get a villager? I'm sorry, do you need some privacy? Let's just go back down and wait for a baby to show up. And there he is now, the little bundle of Minecraft joy. Welcome to the island, little guy. I'm so glad those two were able to hit it off and start this lovely little family behind us. But you might be wondering how I did get that copper for the lightning rod up top. And that's as easily answered as heading over to our mob farm. As you can tell, we put that staircase back up one more time, this time just to flood the bottom of it, and allow some of the zombies that we've been catching to transform into drowns. Then if we just simply strike at some of the guys in here, we have the rare chance of dropping copper. And in this box, we've already been harvesting a few, going back and forth between building the villager breeder and coming over to the mob farm. Did manage to get us a fair bit of copper ingots, as well as our first few mob heads, in the form of drown heads. Bleh, I can't swim. And lightning rods are great, but I know what you're thinking. Slipshod, didn't you need copper in order to mine that suspicious gravel? Well, you're darn tootin' we did. And one other thing that I know we have already. Thanks to our venture last episode and the couple random chicken jockeys we've got, we have plenty of feathers. If we just throw in sticks, copper, and feathers, we can get archaeological brushes. We can go be the best archaeologists this world has ever seen. But maybe in the morning. And now that we've had a good sleep, let's head over to this trail ruin and prepare it for an archaeological dig. As you saw in that little montage, we put a safety net up to keep us from falling into the void and save any resources that we might harvest near the edge of the island. I am so excited to see what's inside of this suspicious gravel. Let's check it out. Ooh, we've got a gold nugget. Let's check out a few more. Oh, a pottery shard. Nice. Respecting the remnants. Excellent, we got another advancement. You might have guessed by the size of the safety net that it's not only the suspicious gravel that I plan to harvest from over here. There are a lot of great resources around here that I would love to be able to incorporate in my building. We saw that terracotta came in handy during the villager breeder, and I would love to get some of the other color variants, as well as all of this beautiful dirt and gravel. Let's just get right to work, shall we? I think that we can consider this trail ruin completely stripped of all useful resources. I have all of our spoils from this trail ruin gathered in these chests right here. Here in the top, we have all just the raw resources that I got from the ruin themselves. Absolutely massive amounts of gravel, a bunch of dirt, and a few other building resources that will be nice to incorporate into our builds later on. And in the bottom here, we have everything that we got from the suspicious gravel. We have a bunch of pottery shards, we have music discs, we even have smithing templates, and just a couple other random resources. I'd call that a successful expedition. But I will say, digging everything up with just stone tools was not something I look forward to having to do in the future. And of course, the villager breeder behind us has been working this whole time, So I think it could be a good idea to try to find another way to upgrade our tool usage. I am so sick of using these stone tools, but if we're honest, we're not quite ready to get rid of them yet. I might need to do some villager wrangling first. I guess this gap was enough for them to be able to escape. Nothing a couple boats can't fix. Of course you're up here. It's time to go downstairs. No, of course. Just invite yourself into my house. I love tearing out my front door. And we've got them all back together now. Don't give me that look. These three will be safe while separated, and I'm gonna be able to put them to work here shortly. Why don't we do something about that villager storage room we talked about before? We'll just block this off for now, and then we just poke a little hole beneath it. Add water so we can get down, and let that spread for just a little bit. While we do that, get our cobblestone ready. Now we go for it. Putting some blocks down as we go, and a slab on the lower side, and just stop this up if we can. There we go. And then just build the rest of the room. We have the first starts of our under island with a little storage space that we can just keep villagers in for the meantime. I changed up the distributing platform to be a little more streamlined so they'll just fall straight down into it and stash themselves directly below. Unfortunately, we did have another couple of escapees over there. Let's see if we can't give these three a bit more of a useful job in the meantime. And I thought where the trail ruin was would make a nice location for it, so I went ahead and cleaned it up and made a better staircase down, and got a little platform ready for us to be able to start getting our next farm built. And the moon is rising behind us, which is exactly what we are going to need. I'm intentionally leaving the space dark so that we can try to get a couple mobs, as we are definitely going to need a zombie for what I have in mind. Luckily, I've come prepared with several boats. And now we just wait for mobs to start spawning down there. Oh, actually, we already have some zombies. Let's see if any of these will be able to wear a helmet. It doesn't seem so. Nope, not this one. Nope, no luck. Oh, perfect. This one seems to have picked up an arrow. We should be able to throw a helmet at it to protect it from the sun. Now I will admit this isn't the best place for him, so let's lead him back under the stairs for the time being. Right this way, sir. Perfect. You stay right there. Let's light this up. Get out of here. And the perfect time for that beautiful sun to start to rise. We do still have one other large project we want to work on today other than this one, so let's go ahead and get this one taken care of. Roll that time lapse. Alright, so we have safely tucked those villagers away and gotten a zombie into place, though we nearly lost him in the process. But this is going to be the starts of our first iron farm. Now, this is 95% based off of Waddle's design on YouTube. I did use most of it, though made it a little more Skyblock friendly and added a bit of decoration. I'll include a link in the description in case you want to check it out yourself. They'll explain it a lot better than I can. All we have to do is chop away this block and it'll be up and running. There we go. The villagers are all starting to panic. Oh, and that's the sound I like to hear. We have our first iron golem that spawned in the tunnel, worked its way down the water stream, and dropped into the lava. A farm like this one is better built closer to your base, as it's something nice to keep constantly running, but the sound of those iron golems would just drive me crazy. So just a bit of distance will make it more manageable. And we can always just AFK it if we need it. And now hopefully we can just have a passive source of iron. I have to say this is some pretty good progress for us today. Even though our box that we used in our earlier project has gotten to be very messy. And we still have those other boxes of resources that we mined off of the trail ruin. I think I'm going to take just a bit of time to just put everything away, get everything organized, and then we can start seeing what kind of supplies we have to work on our last and biggest build that we've made so far. And I mean more than just this episode. But for now, we tidy. All right, it's morning. We have everything put away, though I will say I did notice a bit of a tragedy while I was cleaning up. It seems like our fish in this fish pond did not seem to stay after all. I really want to thank you all for the name suggestions in the comments in the last episode, but it looks like they won't be needed after all. But don't you worry, I'm sure we're gonna need suggestions for friends' names soon enough. For now, we'll head back up onto the villager breeder and chuck them a few carrots. Give our villagers a bit of a feeding. Boop, 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 boop. Hopefully that'll keep you two nicely fed and happy. I'm also just a little curious how this iron farm is doing. Let's see how much iron we have. Holy smokes, almost 2 full stacks worth. You know what that means, right? Goodbye, terrible stone tools. You will not be missed. Isn't it ironic? And I know iron armor might not look the best, but it's certainly going to be better than these few pieces of gold I had. But look at us with our freshly upgraded tools. I feel like we have already made such great progress today. Let's keep the momentum going. So I've been doing a bit of resource gathering in the meantime to prepare for the large build we have. And I'm not kidding when I say that this is going to be the biggest build that we've done yet. Not even 2 full double chests was able to hold all the materials we're going to need. And one of the worst parts is we still need about 2 stacks of this white carpet. And these 8 are all we have. I converted the mob farm back to automatic and have just been waiting on spiders to drop, but they are far too slow. So I think I'm going to build one more quick farm. As I'm in a bit of a rush, I'm just going to use a design by the Master Miner on YouTube. Again, I'll include a link down in the description. We can knock this one out real quick. There we go. Now, if I've done this right, all I should need to do is get this started. It worked for a moment, but then I broke it. All right, there we are. Now, all I should need to do is just break that and quickly turn that back on. I seem to have done something wrong. There we have it. Very simple design here. Now, all you should have to do is just break this and turn it on. What the heck? It's working just fine in the test world. This thing took embarrassingly long to get working. It turns out that the tutorial I followed didn't quite mention that this farm is actually directional, meaning that it matters what direction this farm is facing. It seems in my test world I got lucky and had it facing east like it's supposed to be, but in this world I had it facing the wrong direction. Thankfully, this farm is so small that it was not too much of a pain to have to rebuild it a few times, but we finally have it working. As I was trying to say before, all we have to do is flip this switch, and we have all the string that we could ever ask for. I mean, just look how quickly this thing is filling up. I will admit, relying on a bug to duplicate string for me does feel a little cheap. I think I'm only going to use this for our current project, and then after that, maybe try to figure out a better spider farm. But for now, those villagers are waiting on that trading hall. And it actually looks like we are going to have enough. Let's just turn this guy off. Yeah, it's safe to assume that we are going to have plenty. Let's go ahead and convert it to carpets now. In fact, it looks like we have made a couple extra, but it's fine. I'm sure we'll wind up using them somewhere. For now, let's just put the rest of these back in storage and get to work on our build. Alright, and with these last 2 pieces of carpet, we have everything we need for our big build. I think we've had enough distractions up to this point, getting everything together. We finally have everything we need, so let's get this build taken care of. I know we've already had a few this episode, but for the last time, roll that time lapse. And we have done it. We have made a massive trading hall for our villagers, and a pretty nice one if I do say so myself. If we pop into free cam mode, we can get a better look at the structure we've made here. This is definitely the largest and most detailed build that we have in the world so far. I use mostly stone and spruce just because that was what we had available at the time of me building this, and I've come up with a pretty nice design, I think. Let's just climb back down to ground level and we can tour the inside. So we have this grand face that comes into just several villager trading stalls that we can line up with every kind of villager that we are going to need. It's going to be a great way of generating emeralds and getting some of the more miscellaneous resources that you can't get as commonly in Skyblock. We have 2 full floors of trading locations, and I plan to fill them out as soon as possible. Our trading hall is lined up perfectly with the villager breeder, so all of the villagers that we have stored down in the tunnel below our island can be funneled up straight into the trading hall and put right into locations to get their trades going. I'll be honest, I think the rest of this episode is going to be just fixing up that hallway and getting a few villagers in place. But first, I do want to just throw up a few miscellaneous decorations around here. A little bit of detailing that's kind of hard to time lapse. So let me just cut ahead to getting those in place. And just like that, we have a transformation. I went around and added a few more custom trees about, as well as a few bushes and some more greenery around, just to give this area a little more life than we had before and make this fit in a little closer than it did previously. I had noticed one other change that really made me want to get back to recording here, because I really wanted to show off what wound up showing up while we were doing those couple changes. And there he is! We have a piggy! I don't know when or where exactly he showed up at, but at some point he seems to have arrived. I do want to throw him into a boat just to take him out of the passive mob spawn so we can still be getting other mobs showing up, as well as to keep him protected. For now, I'm going to row him over by the farm just so he can have a little place for himself. In the future, I would love to find another one of him to start getting him breeded up. But for now, I think just one piggy will have to do for us. You all down in the comments are going to have to leave a name for this guy. Let's have a little sleepover with our new piggy friend. And then right back to the tour. We have a few new custom trees to add a little more life to the area, as well as just some patches of dirt to give a bit more greenery, even a few creeping vines sneaking up the side of the building. I also went through and just added a couple of the mossy stone bricks and cracked stone bricks that we got from the trail ruin over there. If we pop up into free cam mode, we can get a nice little look around the building, see some of the vines and such that we have around. As well, I did go through and replace a lot of the torches that we have with lanterns, just because I think they're a bit nicer of a lighting source than those torches can be. Inside here, we extended the floor to have a little bit of a pattern going down the side, and I did manage to get one of our villagers into place. Unfortunately, I may have gotten a little impatient with him and given him a small whack to get him into place, but it's nothing a little bit of time won't solve. While I wait for him to forgive me, I'll show you how I have them coming up top here. I have this little section that leads to this trapdoor that, when you follow the trapdoor down, brings us down to our villager storage. As you can see, the villagers have been quite busy. For now, I did just want to get that one in place to make sure that it was going to work. Probably in between episodes, I'm going to move a few of these villagers upstairs and get them in place, get some of their trades locked in, so we can have a nice source of emeralds coming in. For now, though, let's get out of here before the sound of these villagers drive us crazy. And I suppose it doesn't hurt to go ahead and trade with this guy. Let's go ahead and turn our spruce into sticks and take these sticks and lock them in. And we even managed to get what a deal along the way. This is going to be a good start to some emerald generation, though. We still have a lot of work to do in order to make this guild hall as profitable as I want it to be, but it's nothing that a little bit of villager wrangling can't handle. Unfortunately, anyone who's played Minecraft with any frequency can tell you that villager wrangling is quite the tedious process. I'll spare you all the pain of having to watch me get them all into place. In the next episode, we'll just take stock of what all professions we have and what great deals we have to offer. We're also going to have to make sure we chop down a few trees to keep our stick supply strong and give us all the emeralds we could use. Otherwise, I think a few farmer villagers would do well. There's a few professions that are going to require a few things from the Nether, so I think in the next episode, that might be where we wind up heading. As much as I hate going to the Nether. At least thanks to the iron farm we have here, having better tools and better armor is going to make the task just a little bit easier. I'll be honest, I think this has been one of the most productive episodes of Skyblock we have gotten to yet. And this is still only just the beginning. Each day I get more and more excited about all the upcoming improvements that we can make around here. I would love to hear some of you all's suggestions about what you think I should work on next. I definitely do think it is time to finally put this obsidian to use though. But that's definitely going to be a project for next time. Unfortunately, friends, that's going to be all the time we have for today. Sorry about the delay in getting this video out. There was a couple life things that got in the way, but they should be all straightened out now. Thank you all so much for joining me on another adventure on Skyblock Infinite. I hope you all enjoyed getting to watch us finally make some substantial progress. Here on out, we should be able to get a fair bit more done each episode. This is of course thanks to some of the excellent farms that we have built. Again, links are down in the description for the ones that I had a guide that I followed. Tune in next episode where we plan to leave this dimension behind and delve deep into the fiery depths of the Nether. It's bound to be a terrible time. You are not going to want to miss it. And don't forget to leave a name suggestion down in the comments for our new piggy friend, or really any other feedback you'd like sharing with me. I love hearing it all. And last but not least, please leave a like on the video or consider subscribing if you're new. I won't harp on it further, just know that every little bit helps. Have an amazing rest of your day. Always remember to try to be the good in it. I'm gonna get to work chopping down trees and getting some villagers into place. I'll catch you all in the next one. Goodbye!